Hi guys, welcome back to Hench and Saunters, and this is another episode of Retro Review where I'm going to talk about the butterfly effect. The Butterfly Effect stars Ashton Kutcher and Amy Smart, and was written and directed by Eric Bress and Jake Mackay-Gruber. Now, although the film has, I think, 4 different endings, the film cut that I'm accustomed to is the director's cut. So that is what I'm going to be talking about, and there are going to be spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen the film, please bear that in mind. The film centres around Evan Treborn, who throughout his childhood has suffered from blackouts. As advised by his doctor, he begins writing journals to document his day-to-day life in an effort to assist his memory. After suffering many childhood traumas, he miraculously turns out okay. But after being prompted to read his old journals, he discovers that he can relive his blackouts and reshape his future. What we learn, however, is that everything has a butterfly effect, which refers to the chaos theory, in which, loosely, a hurricane can be caused by the fluttering of a butterfly's wings halfway across the world. The most impressive thing to me about this film is the score and the sound effects. Now, there's one particular motif that is used throughout the film, this one here. It's got such a weird mood to it, and it's weirdly an earworm. I think the performances in this film by the main cast are excellent, especially Ashton Kutcher, who turned in a very surprising performance. The inexpensive but very effective transition used for Evan when he goes back to these flashbacks is also very cool. I personally really appreciated the contrast between the subtle changes that are made to the more dramatic ones. For example, one change might mean that Evan's bed is on the different side of a room, to another reality where he's got no arms. Now, I really enjoy this film. I think it's far smarter than people give it credit for. Now, I know the science behind it is potentially a little bit flawed, and the film itself is kind of, it's throwaway, you know, it is disposable. I think I saw it at that time in my life where it's just one of those movies that I constantly go back to. I think the downsides to this film is that there's a couple of subplots that aren't really developed well enough for me. There's one where Evan goes to prison. I'm not going to say why, but he goes to prison for something he did. I thought that aspect was really interesting, but I think the behaviour of some of the characters in that scenario is a little bit unbelievable. So, I mean, this film constantly ping-pongs between being very clever and very believable to being kind of ridiculous. So that's the downside to me. Now, I want to talk about the ending. Now, the ending, as I said at the beginning of the video, that I'm accustomed to is the ending for the director's cut, which I think is a far stronger ending than the one that's on Netflix, for example. Evan is in a psychiatric ward and he manages to break into his doctor's office, and he starts to watch some home movies, one of which consists of his pregnant mother. So he uses that video to go back to the womb, and inside the womb he strangles himself with the umbilical cord. In doing so, this prevents all of the traumatic experiences that his friends and family had been exposed to. I think it's a perfect ending to this film, and it's very bittersweet, don't get me wrong, and again, slightly unbelievable, but I do think it's a very good ending. I know that was a very brief retro review, as they all seem to be, but thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please click thumbs up. If you've got something to say, leave a comment down below, and if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Thank you.